Joining me live now is the co-founder of Republican Women for Progress, Meghan Milloy. Meghan, thanks so much for your time. Nikki Haley quitting the presidential race. The implications for women are pretty obvious there. It's a rematch, Biden and Trump. Disappointing news?
I think it's incredibly disappointing for a number of reasons, right? I mean, not only is she this history-making Republican woman, but she was the only candidate to really pick up any amount of steam against Trump. She won two primaries, DC and Vermont, which aren't huge in the grand scheme of things, but I think it starts to set a tone. And if nothing else, it gets under Trump's skin by taking away any sort of unanimous mandate he could have and will probably still claim.
Trump is a juggernaut with or without Nikki Haley as an opponent. But do you think there is an element of Republican voters that just aren't ready for a woman president?
Yes, there are. And I think that goes to show in the polls. You look at some of the exit polls that were conducted yesterday, and while there were a number of the Nikki Haley voters that were very outright in saying that they weren't just voting for Nikki Haley, they were voting against Trump. I think that sentiment still lies. I think that was a big part of Hillary Clinton's challenge back in 2016 was not just what she was saying on policy, but it was how do you win that chunk of women voters that may not quite be ready for a Republican or any woman president at that point. And I think that's unfortunately still a big hurdle that the party's having to cross right now.
Look, Nikki Haley didn't endorse Donald Trump. That was pretty obvious. But she, had cooled her language a little bit, saying Trump needs to earn the respect. He needs to earn this position that he's about to get. It's kind of telling, isn't it? Where does she go from here? I mean, there's been talk that she could be his VP. Surely she couldn't do that.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope she doesn't. It's interesting the language that she used in earning that vote. It's not a matter of earning at this point. We've seen Trump now for 8+ years and what he's done both in office and out of office. And the thought that there is still some percentage of the voter base that doesn't really know what he stands for and what he is going to do is shocking. So I wasn't super pleased with her choice of words there. Where she goes, I really hope that she doesn't just fall into the Republican, like the fellow before me just said, and endorse Donald Trump like Mitch McConnell did. I think that she's stronger than that. She stands by her principles. I think she made that pretty clear in the last few days of the campaign. Does she mount a third party, an independent run? I doubt it. But I think that as we've seen, with so many of her support groups, namely one of the largest Nikki Haley super PACs, they have already changed their name to Haley Voters for Biden. So I think at least many of her people are going to throw their energy in doing whatever they can to make sure Donald Trump is not elected.
Okay. So what does it say about your system, no offence, Meghan, when you've got a Trump-Biden rematch, a lot of the population saying they don't want this choice, and they're in their late 70s, early 80s?
I mean, I hate it, if that's what you're asking. We've had 2020 deja vu. We've seen this song and dance before. We're all 4 years older and not a lot wiser. I had a friend say yesterday in conversation something to the effect of, "Congratulations, America, you've given us the stupidest presidential race possible." And I think the only real difference this time is Joe Biden now has a record to run on, which should help him, at least right now, unless something catastrophic happens between now and then. And on the Trump side, his only difference is he's got more indictments and a debatably even crazier stump speech under his belt. So, we've kind of been joking in DC these days that the way we often watch other countries' politics and just are gobsmacked by how crazy they seem and how they're always all yelling at each other all the time. I think the roles have all been reversed, and we are kind of the center stage right now, and lots of questions of how this could happen and why does this continue to happen. Do we need institutional political change? Maybe. But I think that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a year for you. Meghan, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.